Good morning everybody, good morning, it's JPR and welcome back to another video. The average modern day Pokemon game lets you store about 900 to 1000 Pokemon in the storage system. But what if you're an absolute psychopath like me, and that's just not enough for you? Well, that's where Pokemon storage applications come into play. Extra storage that you can pay for to fuel your addiction for shiny hunting. But before we discuss Pokemon boxes, first we need to discuss these boxes. Ooh, that was a smooth transition. This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. That's right, our favorite Japanese subscription snack boxes are back once again this month with some brand new treats. Let's see what they have inside. For those unaware, Tokyo Treat is a special box that focuses more on new, hip, and exclusive Japanese foods, while Sakura Co focuses more on traditional Japanese snacks. Each box has its own theme and specialized booklet that'll tell you all about the treats that you'll be receiving. These booklets are also filled with some Japanese trivia, and this one talks a bit about the Japanese bug catching festival and how it was actually an inspiration for Pokemon. This month, Tokyo Treat's theme is Sugoi Summer and is filled with all kinds of tasty summer-themed items. As for Sakura Co, the theme this month is Okinawa Retreat, featuring snacks and ingredients from the Yogimi villages in Okinawa. The Sakura boxes are also a perfect pairing for tea, and it comes with this special Japanese tableware as well. So far, I am absolutely loving these Japanese Ramune candies. These are really good. So what are you waiting for? Use the coupon code JPR for $5 off your first box, no matter which one it is, using the links in the description down below. Thank you Sakura Co and Tokyo Treat for sponsoring and for the delicious snacks, so let's get back to the video. So the granddaddy of these Pokemon storage applications is actually a full GameCube game. Well, game might be a stretch, more like GameCube title. Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire, but also compatible with Emerald, Fire Red, and Leaf Green. But the marketing team said screw that, we need people to know that this is linked with Ruby and Sapphire. Having Groudon, Kyogre, and a bunch of other Gen 3 Pokemon in the box isn't a clear enough message! This game featured 25 extra boxes that could hold 60 Pokemon each, a grand total of 1500 extra slots to store your Pokemon in. The in-universe creator of the Pokemon box is Lynette's sister Bridget, who later reappears in Pokemon Bank before being laid off by Pokemon Home. All you need to fire up this bad boy is the Nintendo GameCube link cable that connects to your Game Boy Advance. If you don't have that, well, I hope you enjoy listening to the title screen music. But once you're into the application, yep, it's a Pokemon box system. And a remarkably restricted one at that. This game has a number of rules put in place. First, you have to have last saved at a Pokemon Center before you can access the boxes. You also can't withdraw any Pokemon that you deposited using a different game unless you've caught 100 different Pokemon on that new game's save file. So if you put your Blaziken in from Ruby, but you wanted to pull it out and use it in Emerald, then you would first need 100 species registered in your Emerald Pokedex. Additionally, you can't even deposit Pokemon from Emerald unless you've entered the Hall of Fame and received the National Pokedex. As for Fire Red and Leaf Green, you can't deposit or withdraw any Pokemon until you've fully completed the Sevi Islands post-game quest that allows you to trade with the Hoenn base games. They filled every loophole possible to prevent you from getting an advantage. Aside from just box storage, there's a stage feature that allows you to showcase some of your favorite Pokemon and arrange them on a customizable platform. And as soon as you're done messing around with that, the ending credits play. But wait, there's more! This game also has an adventure mode. What is adventure mode, you ask? Well, it's you emulating your Gen 3 games on your GameCube, similar to how the Game Boy Player accessory worked, aka that weird black thing attached to the bottom of your GameCube. Fun fact, since the Game Boy Player disc is incompatible with the Wii, Pokemon Box is the only application that directly lets you play handheld Pokemon games on the Nintendo Wii. That actually sounds like a pretty neat experience. Maybe I should order a copy for, good God almighty, 1900 bucks! Yeah, I may have forgotten to mention the tiny fact that this was probably the rarest GameCube game of all time. Since in the United States, it could only be purchased at the Pokemon Center in New York City, which closed back in January 2005, leaving only a 6-month window for anybody in America to purchase the game. It was also quite exclusive in Europe, only being sold through a bundle pack that included Colosseum, Pokemon Box, and a GameCube link cable. But if you just want a Colosseum, there was little reason to pick this bundle up. But also, in general, there was very little reason to pick this game up. All of the Gen 3 games hold up to 420 Pokemon on their base storage systems. That's more than enough room to fit a living Pokedex in every game. Plus, Masada method didn't exist yet, so hatching a ton of eggs in hopes of finding a shiny only applied to a very small pool of Pokemon that couldn't be found in the wild, like starters. But even for those, soft resetting is just a strictly better hunting method. Competitive Pokemon battling wasn't really much of a thing back then either, since Wi-Fi connection didn't exist, and VGC didn't even get added to Pokemon Worlds until 2008 with Diamond and Pearl being the first featured games. So you could breed for optimal natures and IVs, but why? What's even the point? Simply put, if you're going over that 420 Pokemon limit, there's something wrong with how you're spending your time. This could very well be the most pointless, but also the most valuable Pokemon game of all time, which is very funny to me. So Pokemon storage applications would quietly disappear for the next few years until the WiiWare application My Pokemon Ranch was released in mid-2008, allowing you to store up to 1,000 Pokemon. This title allowed for far more interaction with your Pokemon, and your Pokemon's natures and other characteristics would determine how they acted in the ranch. There are also randomly occurring events that your Pokemon can take part in. It's a cute little game, but admittedly is a lot less versatile than the other storage applications, even Pokemon Box. Basically, the catch was that this game could only connect to Diamond and Pearl anywhere outside of Japan. In Japan, a Platinum update would be added to the game, which also increased the storage limit to 1,500. Why? Because Japan. But even over there, the game would never be directly compatible with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Also different from Pokemon Box, you could only withdraw your Pokemon using the same save file that you deposited them with, meaning you couldn't send them to another game or even withdraw them on the same cartridge if you started a new file. So it's pretty much just a storage device and nothing more. And if you didn't know that going in, then you may as well call it My Pokemon Graveyard. It was pretty much, hey, we made these new models for Pokemon Rumble, let's get a few extra bucks out of them. Gen 5 would come and go without a storage application, but shortly after Gen 6's announcement, Pokemon Bank for 3DS was revealed to be launching shortly after Pokemon X and Y, with a targeted release of Christmas Day 2013 in Japan. Emphasis on the word targeted. Yep, as you can probably expect, the influx of millions of new users creating Nintendo IDs that download Pokemon Bank on Christmas Day of all times ended up crashing the Nintendo eShop for 4 entire days. Almost a whole month later, Pokemon Bank would finally be re-released in Asian territories on January 21st, 2014, with the Western release coming a couple weeks later on February 5th. Though back then, it felt like an eternity. 4 whole months before any Pokemon could be brought from Gen 5 to the 3rd dimension. But despite this incredibly rocky launch, Pokemon Bank still kinda ended up being the GOAT. 3,000 storage spaces, double that which Pokemon Box and Ranch offered, mostly unrestricted transfer to any Gen 6 or Gen 7 games, except you stay. No weird rules in place like with Pokemon Box or Ranch, and it could also store and transfer Pokemon from Virtual Console, meaning that for the first time ever, Pokemon from Generation 1 and Generation 2 games could finally enter the modern realm. Plus, they would just periodically give away some awesome rewards, like hidden ability versions of the Johto and Alola starters, hidden ability Regis, and the Munium Z. Not to mention, Pokemon Bank came out in an era where extra storage was actually needed. The competitive Pokemon scene was way larger, breeding became easier, you could Wonder Trade all of your breed checks, shiny hunting was insane back in Gen 6, and the fact this application could connect to 18 core series games, all of Gens 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7, yeah, having storage was actually appreciated this time around. All of this for just $5 a year. This was going to be very hard to top. But in 2020, Pokemon Home would burst onto the scene, and it would not top Pokemon Bank. I mean, sure, it had a way smoother launch, but it's basically just Pokemon Bank again, but costs 3 times as much per year. Yeah, they did add Pokemon Go Transfer, which is a nice way to move shinies over, plus it has GTS and Wonder Trade built in, or more like removed from the core games and put behind a paywall. But I don't know, is all that really worth $15? Not to mention, the trade features are restricted to the mobile phone version only? I don't know, that seems kinda dumb. You know that most of your player base is probably using the Switch version, so why exclude basic features from that one? And for some reason you're limited to 10 trades with friends per day? What? At least throw in something like My Pokemon Ranch where you can see your Pokemon outside of a giant list. It would basically just be Pokemon Camp from Sword and Shield, but with hundreds of Pokemon. Plus, with just the nature of modern-day Pokemon where not all the Pokemon can move from one game to the next due to dex restrictions, it just feels way less usable and open than Pokemon Bank. All in all, it feels more like a museum for you to see all your Pokemon at once. If anything, I feel more discouraged from ever moving them when I look at all the red marks and warning signs about incompatible species or unusable moves. It just feels kinda depressing more than anything. Not to mention, this service is so much slower when it comes to compatibility with new games. With Pokemon Bank, ORAS was compatible with it on day 1, and it only took 2 months for Sun and Moon to be compatible. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon only took 2 days. But with Home, it took 4 to 6 months to add compatibility for the Sinnoh remakes and Legends Arceus. I can only hope that Scarlet and Violet get better treatment. But hey, I won't pretend that there's no reason for Pokemon Home to exist at all. Huge strides been made since Pokemon Box way back in the day, and despite some of the restrictions of Pokemon games on the Switch, this service is still a necessity for any dedicated Pokemon fans. Speaking of which, if you're dedicated enough to make it to the end of this video, then why not subscribe or even become a channel member? Shout out to all of these guys for always supporting my content, and I'll see you guys next time.